Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I can definitively report something in this video. And I can say with utmost confidence, I have no idea what to think of the other thing. And that means you Wiccan experts out there who use him, because I don't have him. Therefore, I cannot assess. And I've asked other people who have him, and they're not sure. So this is one of those classic wait and see. But the balancing updates up to this point, the good news is no one's been nerfed yet, though KT1 confirmed in his interview with the Kabam developer that had Kitty Pryde and Hercules been on the balanced sheet last year, they would have been nerfed, so thank God for that. Now the best way for Kabam to nerf them is to do what they've done with Quake and I guess Magic so far, and that's just not let them in the club, right? So I don't expect to see a 7-star Hercules or Kitty Pryde ever, or at least for another 5 years. That may be a bit of a exaggeration, but we'll see. How long have 6 stars been around? At least 2 or 3 years, and we still haven't got those champions, so you just never know. But Hulkling and Wiccan balancing update. Hulkling we're not going to spend a lot of time on, because you'll see we're happy with how Hulkling is performing in the battle realm. Hulkling was designed to be a cosmic bruiser with access to consistent damage as long as you can trigger his Pierce and Fury buffs. In Alliance Wars, we're seeing him match up well against some of the intended targets, such as Penny Parker, while also doing well in other matchups where you can utilize his immunities. All in all, we're happy with where Hulkling has landed, and we'll be leaving him as is. Now, it is no surprise that they aren't buffing him. The fear was that they would nerf him, and that he would be the first he's showing too good a signs strength test. He's not Hercules, but he's still top 5, I think. In my latest poll in the month of September, subscribers voted him number 7, actually. Him and Galen were basically tied at number 6. So, top 10, maybe top 5. Either way, that's good news for Hulkling. Wiccan is another story. I'm not saying that to say it's bad news. I'm just saying it's news. Wiccan was designed to lean into his utility more, featuring one of the most accessible neutralize effects in the game. A few niche immunities targeted towards null and regeneration versus annoying effects such as Terrax Rockfield. In regards to his damage output, we wanted his damage to spike in matchups where the opponent has buffs for your neutralize to fail, and for it to be lower in other matchups. While we're happy with how Wiccan is currently sitting in the meta, there is an edge case where we would like to address by making the following change to Wiccan's Arcane Theft spell. In the Arcane Theft Heavy, gain a power gain passive, granting 1% of max power for 10 seconds, max 10 stacks, so max of 10% over 10 seconds. Nullifies up to 1 Fury, Precision, or Power Gain buff off the opponent to increase the potency of the Power Gain passive to 5%. Why are we making this change? Our goal is for Wiccan to perform exactly as he has been for basically every fight so far, while also preventing an unfun, unhealthy. Now, when Kabam says unfun and unhealthy, I can't tell if that's like my mom saying Lucky Charms marshmallows are unfun and unhealthy, even though they're not. They're fun, and I'm not saying they're healthy, but anything I can do to justify eating them when I was growing up. From feeling like something players have to use in any future fights. The effect of this spell was intended to be low impact unless the opponent has one of 3 specific buffs for Wiccan to nullify, but even as its current base potency of 1%, Wiccan is able to stack enough copies of the spell to outpace the opponent's recovery window, as well as their window to punish a blocked special. This allows Wiccan to eventually loop special attacks over and over without any interaction or interruption from the opponent. So, again, unfun? That sounds like fun to me. It sounds like a lot of fun if you can master that. Well, this requires a lot of time to set up and is only applicable in niche scenarios. This play pattern is something we would like to curb by adding a max stack limit to this spell. In a matchup where the opponent does not have Fury, Precision, or Power Gain buffs to nullify, the intent is for the Arcane spell to mostly serve as a unique spell for a special 2. We consider lowering the base potency of the Power Gain to 0% instead of 1% in order to completely remove its effectiveness, as well as the infinite loop versus non-targeted matchups, However, we liked that adding a max stack limit also achieves our goal while also leaving some value to the spell in non-targeted matchups. So we're going to have a beta test, beta time. The plan is for us to have this round of rebalancing changes go through a beta in November. We're currently working on the last steps of setup, and we'll have more details shortly. We'll be looking for player feedback on the tuning changes and if they're hitting their goals. And then one more thing, with Hulkling needing no changes and Wiccan only needing a small one, we had the time to invest in a value-only update for someone else, Iron Man Infinity War. As a champion that's always been a defender first, we're looking to keep that identity while also making his attacker loops feel more accessible so he can be a serviceable option, especially in battlegrounds, even if he's on the slower side. Look forward to longer plasmas and incinerates, easier access to stun on a special 2 attack, and more. We'll also be adding Iron Man Infinity War's changes to the beta at the same time for players to try out and would give us feedback with the hope to if the process goes well, as we can place future tune-ups on there too. That's a good idea. After the beta, we'll take a look at the feedback and data and iterate it. If needed, Wiccan and Iron Man Infinity War with their changes hit the Battle Realm with January 37.2 release. So, we have already highlighted a summoner on this channel who took his Iron Man Infinity War to rank 4 already and loved him. Interesting. It does sound like a little bit of a nerf in a very specific situation to Wiccan, but I can't comment on how even common that is because I don't have him. However, the Hulkling news is good, and Iron Man Infinity War is also good. So, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, and who knows, maybe it's 3 out of 3. Either way, let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching my channel.